guys, I have missed y'all. I have missed you guys so much. Hey, I started a few minutes early because I don't know if opening statements are going to actually start right at 2:30 or not. Oh, we have a seal. Maybe it is. I was not clickbaiting y'all, I promise. Court TV kept changing the time. And tomorrow we have the penalty phase of Jose Escalera's trial. So I don't know how we're going to do both of these. I really don't. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We always do. So I'm feeling much better. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm much better. We got to get back to Betty Broderick at some point, too, which we'll probably go back to that in the morning before we go to Escalera, and I don't know what we're going to do about this. And I don't know how long the penalty phase in Escalera's trial is supposed to last. Hopefully it won't be long, and then we can get back to this trial. But I'm very glad that nothing was going on. Well, something happened yesterday, but it was yesterday afternoon. But I'm very glad that I had time to rest because all day Sunday, part of the day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday, and this morning, I have not felt well. But like I said, much better now. So, and this trial is going to be very sad. I usually don't like doing, if it's like a straight up child abuse thing, I don't really care to do it. Which this guy is being charged with aggravated child abuse. But this is no sadder. He wiggles. This is no sadder than Escalera. Well, maybe a little bit sadder because this was a baby that was already born. She was 2 days old. Her name was Kennedy, but he lured. Now, this guy, Brandon Isabelle, 22 years old. His girlfriend, 27 years old. She does not look 27 in the pictures. She looks very young, but she's 27. He lured them over to his house. He lured them somewhere. I don't know where he lured them to, but she thought she was just going to visit the father of her child, who was 2 days old. And he shot her and then threw the baby in the Mississippi River because he didn't want it. So he is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated kidnapping. And I think the kidnapping charge is because he drove the car with the baby in it to the river and then took her out of the car and put her in the river. So that's the kidnapping part, I think. So yeah, and he did not get bond, so he's been in there since, I don't know when this happened. I think the date is February 1st, but I'm not sure the year. Men need to quit having babies that they don't want. I'm serious. There are ways to, excuse me, there are ways to prevent that. And some of those ways do not work 100% of the time. But you know what does work 100% of the time? Don't have sex if you don't want to get someone pregnant. That's the easiest answer. You don't have to sleep with someone you want to sleep with. If you don't want a baby, don't sleep with the person or take precautions. It's that simple. And if you don't want the kid, well, I guess this is up to the mom. If the mom is okay with no child support or whatever, 2022, okay. If mom is okay with no child support, then just shut up and leave him alone and let her raise her kid. I'd rather have, now this is me personally because I don't believe in abortion. I would rather have a kid that the guy doesn't want and not deal with having child support or whatever and raise my kid by myself. If you don't want the kid, why did you help me make it? I didn't do this by myself. Okay, so you don't want to help now? Go away. I'll do it by myself. I don't understand men, y'all. I just don't. I don't. Takes two people to make a baby. Why are they showing the jury seats? So he lured both of them? So why is only one count of kidnapping? Shouldn't there be two counts? Well, if she drove there willingly, it wouldn't be kidnapping. But if he drove the baby to the river. Oh, he's focusing the camera? That's why he's... Okay. Well, as long as he's not showing the jury, I guess it's okay. So I guess if she drove there, but then he drove... Well, he didn't even have to drive the baby. If he just picked the baby up and took it somewhere, that could be considered kidnapping. I don't know. I always think sometimes some of these charges are like a reach, but I don't know law, so I can't really say that. Maybe it does fall right in line. I don't know. But yeah, this is gonna be another one that I'm interested in the penalty phase. I know we're starting a new trial before we completely finish the other one, but I'm interested in the penalty phase of Escalera because they didn't put on a defense. So I wonder what they're gonna do during the penalty phase. They gotta do something during the penalty phase if they don't want their client to face the death penalty. This guy is not... He's facing life in prison without parole. This is in Tennessee. Does Tennessee have the death penalty? Does Tennessee have the death penalty? Yes. Huh. I wonder why they're not asking for the death penalty. Tennessee has the death penalty. He even confessed. Yet he pled not guilty. He confessed that he shot her and threw the baby in the river. And I don't think they found the baby yet. I don't know that they will. She's only 2 days old. Or was only 2 days old at the time. And that was 3 years ago. Unless it's changed, but I think it even said on here that they hadn't found the baby yet, because I think I cut and pasted off of here. Yep, but baby Kennedy's body has never been found. That's awful. That's awful. I just don't understand why people can't just leave other people alone. If you don't like someone, or you don't want to be around someone, or you don't want someone in your life, you can do that without killing them. Yeah, a 2-day-old body after 3 years, they're not going to find much. And I'm not saying that to be morbid. I'm saying that as a nurse, especially in water. Oh my goodness, I did it. Wiggles, did you hear what I just did? Did y'all watch, was that Saturday? Shane's Dumb Criminals. There was a lady on there that every 30 seconds she'd say, I'm an RN. I'm an RN. I'm an RN. And I said, Shane, I worked hard to get those letters after my name, dang it. But what did I say in chat that day? I said, I only do it when I'm talking about medical stuff. And that's what just happened. I don't spout I'm an RN every 5 minutes. Man, that lady was unbelievable. She just every 30 seconds, I swear. I don't know. I didn't time her, but it was ridiculous. It was like she kept saying, I'm an RN. I'm an RN. I doubt she was even an RN. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She just could not shut up about her credentials. And she just moved here from another state, so she probably doesn't even have her state license yet. Yeah, and then come to find out the dad and the kid were just like messing with her. Oh, yeah, we just came here from Alaska through the Panama Canal. Which is not nice. That's not nice. You shouldn't do that to anybody. But still, I think she was drunk. I really do think she was drunk. Yeah, the boy was old enough to play along with his dad. They were just messing with her, and she called the cops. The one thing, though, that I mean, you shouldn't do that, but still, the thing that the dad did is he, like, was belligerent with the cops. He was like, "Why do I have to tell you if I'm staying here? Why do I have to give you my name?" Like, instead of just going, "Oh, my bad, officers, we were just playing a joke," and giving him his name and saying, "Yes, we are staying here." But he ended up in handcuffs. And yeah, the cop practically had to throw him on the ground because he wouldn't sit down when he was told to. So he almost ended up in jail. And then finally, a cop went to his room. And then the mom was like, "Oh my God." Yeah. Yeah. So, oh yeah, he absolutely did. He absolutely did. And the supposed nurse absolutely thought that the kid had been abducted. So she really, in reality, she didn't do anything wrong, but still, like, I'm an RN got old fast. And we are trained to notice those kind of things. I'm not going to lie, we are. But I think they were all drunk. Yeah, and she thought he was drugged. In this day and age, people are so strange. I don't know how you would decide if somebody is drugged or not. Because I really don't think you can tell a difference anymore. I mean, unless you do like an examination where you're looking close at their eyes and stuff like, and I don't think she did that, right? And then you can't tell with autism and delayed kids and stuff like that. How was she supposed to know? She didn't know this kid. She didn't know how he normally acted. She didn't know any of that stuff. There's, unless I had some kind of a concrete evidence. I mean, it was so ridiculous to say, "Well, we just came from Alaska through the Panama Canal." Like, if someone said that to me, I would be like, "Oh, that's not true." I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, I'm going to call the cops because you've been abducted." What? It was just ridiculous. Okay, it's after 2. It's 2:45 now. I don't think we're going to have any testimony today. If I had been this court, I would have been like, "Okay, we'll start tomorrow." I think we're just going to get opening statements today, and then that's going to be done. What is going on with my laptop? Shadow, what did you do? She sat on my laptop earlier. Now it's not working right. I was scrolling through shorts on YouTube, and she sat on the keyboard. I've moved the keyboard, but she sat on the keyboard, and it wouldn't scroll through the shorts. Like, how do you always push a button that changes something? I could pound on it all day and nothing would change. She sits on it and it screws something up every time. Yeah, my kids have a special relationship with their Aunt Judy. She tells me all kinds of stuff. They don't ever talk to me. They talk to Judy. Like Spike eating cucumbers now. One day I fed him, this was a long time ago. One day I fed him a cucumber. This is how I know he doesn't like cucumbers. I don't know why he's eating them now. But I gave him a cucumber, a slice of cucumber. He put it in his mouth and he went. It was still in his mouth, but he's just going. And I said, Spike, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to, honey. And he just went, dropped it. So he doesn't like them. All of a sudden, he started eating them. I know. It's Memphis, so it is an hour behind, but Court TV said 2:30, and so that's usually Eastern. I hope it's Eastern. Because if not, we're going to have to sit here for another hour. She was down here. She's getting better. Like, she's warming up to me. She was down here wanting me to pet her. I always say, Shadow, why do you get to where I can't reach you? Why do I have to bend way over? Why can't you get up here? So I leaned over and I was petting her, and then she just jumped up here. I was like, oh, well, thank you. So I was petting her, and then she was like all over both keyboards. So I picked her up, and at first, meow, and she didn't want me to, but then she relaxed and she let me, she just sat here and let me pet her. And so she's getting better. She's getting better. I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. I thought pets like to be petted. I thought that's why they were called pets. She likes to be petted, but she doesn't want to just. If you sit in my lap and let me pet you, I'm not holding you. I'm not restricting you. I don't get it. Just sit in my lap and I will pet you all you want. But no, 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 no. You can't do that. It's a cat thing. Yeah, I guess. I've had cats that were super affectionate and then cats that didn't want to be affectionate at all whatsoever. Well, dang it. I thought they were fixing to start. Belle doesn't let me hold her anymore. Like, she'll sit next to me or sometimes even sit where she's touching me. But if I like lean over and try to hug her and stuff, then she'll move. And I don't know if that's a pain thing or what. Because I know she doesn't feel well. I can tell she doesn't feel well. But she's not like sad and like dragging. Like, she acts normal. It's just she's normal ish, I guess I should say. Like, she's not like a little puppy running around anymore, but she doesn't act like she's in extreme pain or anything like that. Like she's still moving around good and everything. She just doesn't want to like be cuddled up and hugged like she used to. And I don't know if that's because that hurts her or what. Like I don't know, but she's still eating, she's still drinking, she's still running, she's still playing. I'm trying to gauge the right time. Like, I don't want to have her put down too early, but I also don't want to wait too late either. She's my baby. The only time she gets super excited and like runs around anymore is when Travis brings French fries home from McDonald's. She loves McDonald's French fries. Well, okay, so we have closed captions, so they're speaking. We just can't hear them. Oh wait. I've got it muted.
I include her in my count.
Thank you.
So, 2, 3. Got it.
I sent this to
Recess.
What's that, recess?
Why don't you just send it straight to Denise Harris? Because that's how I'm out itself. Let me explain the functions that you and I will perform during the trial. I will decide which rules of law apply to the case. My decisions will be reflected in responses to questions and objections the attorneys raise during the trial and in my final jury instructions. It is your job to determine what the facts are from the evidence. You must then apply the law and my instructions to the facts, and from that application, you will arrive at a verdict. The state has the burden of proving the guilt of the defendant beyond a reasonable doubt, and this burden remains on the state. Keep in mind that the defendant is presumed to be innocent. Thus, a defendant is not required to prove his innocence, to have his attorney make any statements or arguments, or to produce any evidence. You, as jurors, must decide whether the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant has committed the crimes charged in the indictment. You must base that decision only on the evidence of the case and my instructions about the law. An important part of your job will be making judgments about the testimony of witnesses who testify. You should decide whether you believe what each person says and the importance of his or her testimony. In making that decision, I suggest you ask yourself a few questions. Did the person impress you as honest? Did he or she have any particular reason not to tell the truth? Did the witness have opportunity and ability to observe accurately the things he or she testified about? Did he or she appear to understand the questions clearly and answer them directly? Did a witness's testimony differ from the testimony of other witnesses? These are some of the considerations that will help you determine the accuracy of each witness's testimony. In making up your mind and reaching a verdict, do not base any decisions on the fact that there were more witnesses on one side than on the other. Likewise, do not reach a conclusion on a particular point just because more witnesses testified for one side on that point. Your job is to think about and evaluate the testimony of each witness you heard and decide the facts. Some of you have heard the terms circumstantial evidence and direct evidence. These are two basic types of evidence that exist in law. Direct evidence is direct proof of a fact, such as the testimony of an eyewitness. Circumstantial evidence is proof of facts from which you may infer or conclude that other facts exist. You may consider both kinds of evidence, which are considered to be of equal value in the law. You must listen carefully to the testimony. Each of you will be allowed to take notes during the trial for your personal use during your deliberations. You're not required to take notes. Independent memory can be as precise as any written notes. During the course of the trial, you shall not talk with any witness, defendant, or attorney involved in this case. Please do not talk to them about any subject whatsoever. You might see them in the hallway, on an elevator, or at some other location. If you do, perhaps the best standing rule is to not say anything. You should also not discuss the case amongst yourselves until I instruct you on the law and you start deliberating at the end of this case. It is important that you wait until all of the evidence is received and you have heard all of my instructions on the rules of the law before you deliberate amongst yourselves. During the course of the trial, you will receive all of the evidence you may properly consider. Because of this, you shall not attempt to do any research on your own or gather any information on your own that you think may be helpful. Do not engage in any outside reading, visit any locations mentioned in the case, or try to learn about the case outside of this courtroom in any other manner. There will be media reports in the newspapers, on TV, and/or on the radio about this particular case.
Hey, Nancy.
If there are, you are not permitted to read, watch, or listen to those reports. You as jurors must base your decisions solely on the evidence you hear in the courtroom. At times during the trial, an attorney may make an objection to a question that is another attorney or to an answer that a witness gives. This simply means that the attorney is requesting that I make a decision about a particular rule of law. Do not draw any conclusions from the fact that an objection was made or from my ruling on that objection. My rulings only relate to the legal questions that I must determine and should not influence your thinking. If I sustain an objection, the witness will not be permitted to answer the question. Do not attempt to guess what that answer might have been, had the witness been permitted to give it. Similarly, if I tell you not to consider a particular statement that was made, you should put that statement out of your mind and you may not refer to that statement in your later deliberations. It is the responsibility of the attorneys to present the evidence. You must decide this case based on the evidence that's presented to you. Finally, during the course of the trial, I may have to interrupt the proceedings to confer with the attorneys about the rules of law that should apply. In some cases, we may have bench conferences in the courtroom outside of your hearing. And in some instances, I may ask you to retire to the jury room. While we will attempt to resolve some of these issues in the mornings before we get started, in the long run, they save time for all of us. If after your deliberations you find a defendant guilty of any offense, there will be a second phase that we've already discussed during voir dire, in which we will have what we call a mini trial, and the state will put on additional proof, and perhaps the defense will as well. But that's only if we make it through the guilt phase. We're all clear on that point. This completes my opening comments to you. We will now proceed with the reading of the indictment.
Maybe this one is a death penalty case. But Court TV said he was looking at life in prison without parole. Huh. Yeah, Nancy, he shot his girlfriend and threw their 2-day-old baby in the river.
May I approach?
Please.
State of Tennessee, Criminal Courts of Shelby County, July term 2022. Count 1. The grand jurors of the state of Tennessee, duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire for the body of the county of Shelby, Tennessee, upon their oath present that Brandon Isabelle, between January 30th, 2022 and February 3rd, 2022, in Shelby County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, did unlawfully, intentionally, and with premeditation kill Danielle Hoyle in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-202 against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed by the District Attorney General, Steve Mulroy. Count 2. The grand jurors of the state of Tennessee, duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire for the body of the county of Shelby, Tennessee, upon their oath, present that Brandon Isabelle, between July 30th, 2022 and February 3rd, 2022, in Shelby County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, did unlawfully, intentionally, and with premeditation kill Kennedy Hoyle in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-202 against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed by the District Attorney General, Steve Mulroy.
That's right, I forgot. Tennessee does sentencing as soon as the verdict comes in, unlike Florida.
3. The grand jurors of the state of Tennessee, duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire for the body of Shelby, the county of Shelby, Tennessee, upon their oath, present that Brandon Isabelle, between January 30th, 2022 and February 3rd, 2022, in Shelby County, Tennessee, and before finding of this indictment, did unlawfully and with the intent to commit aggravated child neglect, kill Kennedy Hoyle in the perpetration of or the attempt to perpetrate aggravated child neglect in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-202 against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed by the District Attorney General, Steve Mulroy. Count 4. The grand jurors of the state of Tennessee, duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire for the body of the county of Shelby, Tennessee, upon their oath, present that Brandon Isabelle, between January 30th, 2022 and February 3, 2022, in Shelby County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, did unlawfully be years of age or less, so as to adversely affect the health and welfare of said child. Such act resulting in serious bodily injury to the said child, in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-15-402, against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed by the District Attorney General, Steve Mulroy. Count 5. The grand jurors of the state of Tennessee, duly selected, impaneled, sworn, and charged to inquire for the body of the county of Shelby, Tennessee, upon their oath, present that Brandon Isabelle, between January 30, 2022 and February 3rd, 2022, in Shelby County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, did unlawfully and knowingly remove or confine Kennedy Hoyle so as to interfere substantially with the liberty of the said Kennedy Hoyle, and said Kennedy Hoyle did suffer serious bodily injury in violation of Tennessee Code Annotated 39-13-305 against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Signed by the District Attorney General, Steve Mulroy. Indictment number 2203799. State of Tennessee versus Brandon Isabelle. A true bill signed by the foreperson of the grand jury on September 13, 2022.
Ms. Fuchs, Mr. Massey, how does your defendant wish to plead to each count in the indictment?
Your Honor, as to the charges of the indictment, Mr. Isabelle, please continue.
Thank you. Does the state wish to make an opening statement?
We do, Your Honor.
Go ahead, please.
It was the morning of February 2nd, 2022. Cold, bleak. Mud Island, where the Wolf River meets the Mississippi, was colorless. Shades of gray and brown, except for a small baby cat, so out of place, lying on the riverbank, the only indication of what the defendant, Brandon Isabelle, did mere hours earlier. Danielle Hoyle was 27 years old, and she worked at FedEx. That's where she met the defendant, a meeting that would change the course of her life and so many others forever. They had a brief sexual relationship, and Danielle got pregnant with Kennedy. The defendant then started dating another woman, Artisha Stewart. She also worked at FedEx. To the defendant, she was the perfect woman. He wanted to be with Artisha, and he'd do anything to keep her. Late the night of January 30th of 2022, the defendant received word that Danielle was in labor at Regional 1. He went to the hospital, and during those late night hours and early morning hours, he was texting Artisha. Their relationship had been on the rocks for a while. Artisha didn't want to deal with another child or another baby mama in the mix. And so they were going back and forth. Artisha was talking about ending things, breaking up, and the defendant was trying to convince her to stick with the relationship. January 31st, 2022, baby Kennedy Caitlin Hoyle, was born. Later that morning, the defendant met up with Artisha at Mud Island by the river to talk about the relationship, and nothing was resolved. Fast forward to February 1st of 2022. Danielle's released from the hospital with her precious newborn daughter, Kennedy. She takes the baby home to meet her family. And her mother, April Campbell, gets to spend one precious hour with Kennedy. She didn't know that was the only time she would get to spend with her granddaughter, and the last time that she would see her daughter, Danielle, alive. Danielle left that night in her Chevy Cruze. She had Kennedy in her car seat in the back seat, had baby clothes for her. And so they met at a Mapco
Hey, Jill.
on Brooks and Elvis Presley. Somehow, the defendant convinced Danielle to drive down Sedgwick Road where it meets Levi, a desolate, deserted, dark road. Danielle pulled to the side of the road, parked the wrong way. The defendant exited his vehicle, opened the passenger door, and fired 5 shots into Danielle's car, striking her in the face and the head. He drove from the car, leaving her face down in a ditch, so dark that all that could be seen were Danielle's bright pink shoes. He took Kennedy in her car seat from Danielle's car, put her in his Chevy Malibu, and drove away from the scene, leaving Danielle face down, blood gushing from her head in the muddy rainwater. For a while, the defendant drove around with little Kennedy. He eventually made his way back to 8072 Lathbury in Cordova, which is where he lived with his parents. He went changed clothes, put his slides in the trunk of his car, and got back in the Chevy Malibu. Kennedy was still in the car, not even 2 days old. He had one more problem to take care of. He drove to Mud Island. Real-time crime center cameras show his car going up and down, Island Drive, until he finally stops at the old boat ramp, where the mouth of the Wolf River and the Mississippi. He took Kennedy from her car seat, grabbed her by the leg, and threw her into the cold, dark water, not realizing that her little baby cap had fallen from her head and lay resting on the riverbank. He got back into his car, and during this night, he's still texting with Artesia. And his phone, the GPS is on, and it's tracking everywhere he goes. A silent witness to a murderous night. He continues on to Walgreens, where he buys gifts for Artesia. He sits in the parking lot, and he texts Danielle, asking about the baby, knowing that she'll never answer. The cover his tracks. Meanwhile, Officer Cody Sutton with the Memphis Police Department is on routine patrol. He's out of the Range precinct, patrolling South Memphis, and he drives down Sedgwick Road. He knows the area. It's an area that commonly stolen cars are left. And so when he pulls up, he doesn't think anything of it. He sees a Chevy Cruze parked on the wrong side of the road. It looks like it has a shattered window, so he runs the tag. It's dark and raining. And the tag comes back to Danielle Hoyle. So he sends officers to Danielle's home, thinking they're investigating a stolen vehicle. When they arrive, Danielle's not there. They encounter her mother, April Campbell. April informs the officers that Danielle left earlier that night to see her baby's father, that she had a newborn with her, and they hadn't heard from her and didn't know where she was. Meanwhile, Officer Sutton is still on the scene at Sedgwick. He gets out of his vehicle to take a closer look, and he finds the gruesome discovery of Danielle's body. Now at this point, the Memphis Police Department is starting to realize the gravity of missing Kennedy. Officer Sutton looked around. He found no baby. He found no car seat. Just a bag, a baby bag, with the name Kennedy in the Chevy Cruze to show that she was ever there. A city watch goes out. While this is starting to happen, the defendant has another stop to make. He drives to Walmart on Elvis Presley. He then pulls to the back of the Walmart and drops Kennedy's car seat next to a locked dumpster. And that car seat is later found by a Good Samaritan and Officer Robert Blake. He's still texting with Artesia. She finally relents and says he can come over. He beats her home to 5061 Stacy Road. She pulls up in her Kia Soul, and she can't even make it in her door before the defendant is jumping into her car, telling her that they need to leave. Danielle's family is out looking for him. They want to know where Danielle and the baby are. So Artesia drives him back to 8072 Lathbury in Cordova. That's where the defendant and Artesia Stewart are detained by the Memphis Police Department. Sergeants Wimbush and Boyd, with homicide, began to question the defendant. And through that questioning, it becomes apparent that they need to go to Mud Island. And so a frantic search begins for baby Kennedy on Mud Island. The Braden Dive Team, with divers Hunter Winfrey and Kyle Borland. The Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, with Agent Andy Tweedy. Numerous MPD officers on the ground, air support, a helicopter, a drone, looking for baby Kennedy. But they didn't find her. All they found was that baby cap on the riverbank. As Sergeant Boyd and Wimbush continued to speak with the defendant, more information came to light. Sergeant Fowler and Officer Cole went to 5061 Stacy Road, Artesia Stewart's home. That's where the defendant had left his car, the white Chevy Malibu. They searched the car, and in the trunk of the vehicle, they found the Adidas slides that the defendant was wearing. Officer Carlisle took the clothing that the defendant was in when he was taken into custody. And he noticed that the defendant was wearing a pair of white socks with what looked to be blood on them. Officer Carlisle, the crime scene, processed both the Adidas slides and those white socks and used a presumptive test, which indicated blood. Those two items were then sent to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation for DNA testing. Agent Stephen Walzak did the testing on those items and determined that the blood on the socks and the Adidas slides belonged to Danielle Hoyle. Ladies and gentlemen, once you've heard all the proof in this case, the witness accounts, the DNA, the video, once you have heard all the evidence, the state will ask that you find the defendant guilty of each and every count of the indictment.
Does the defense wish to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's center with me first. We talked in boredom about how the state made the allegations, and they have. They did it through an indictment, and they did it through their opening statement. Now, it is up to them, the burden is on them to prove these allegations. Prove these allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, we also talked about how you can't know for sure if truth is being told to you. And that's understandable. Truth rings like a bell on a clear day. Truth does not lend itself to interpretations. Different scenarios, different interpretations.
What?
Beyond a reasonable doubt is like the same thing. If there are two reasonable, supported by the evidence interpretations, at the end of this proof, and both are reasonable, the verdict must be not guilty. Ask me to hold the state to that burden of proof. Thank you.
State, you may call your first witness.
God.
State calls Officer Cody Sutton.
That was the worst opening statement I have ever heard in my life. Ever. Oh my God. That was horrific. Where did he get this attorney? Oh my God. Yes, he looks like a respectable citizen now, doesn't he? Just like Brooks. Brooks had craziness. And then he looked like a normal person during the trial.
Officer Sutton, come forward. Watch your step. Come right here, face your honor, raise your right hand.
Good afternoon. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please have a seat, watch your step, and I'll need you to speak up for the benefit of Madam Court Reporter.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you please state and spell your name for the jury?
It is Cody Sutton, CODYSUTTON,
And where are you employed?
at Germantown Police Department.
How long have you been at Germantown?
A little over a year
Where were you before then?
at Memphis Police Department.
And how long were you with MPD?
5 years.
And is that where you were employed back in February of 2022?
Yes.
Now, back in February of 2022, where were you assigned?
At Rain Station.
And what shift were you working?
It was Delta shift at that time.
What does that mean?
It's 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. is the hours that we worked.
And what area does Rain Station cover?
Whitehaven and Westwood.
Is that South Memphis?
Yes.
Now, were you familiar with the area of,
Yes.
what are the nearest,
It's been so long since I've been over there. There's Rains, Brooks is one of the other closer ones.
all right,
Like, the court has, would witness keep his voice up a little bit, I'm having trouble here.
Please approach.
She could speak.
No
Yes, I can
speaking
get you to approach and you
objections.
can address this. I'm sorry, pardon me, sir.
No speaking objections. Well, he doesn't get another opening. He doesn't get, that was his opening. He could have deferred. He could have said, I defer my opening until my case starts. He didn't do that. He just got up there and said, there are two sides to every story. Basically, that was his opening. But he didn't say what his side of the story was. So what just got objected to? That Memphis is in Shelby County, Tennessee? What was the
For the purposes of
objection?
the record, I'm going to ask this witness to speak up for the benefit of counsel and as well as those who are joining us. If you, sir, could possibly raise your voice and maybe speak to that officer at the back door,
Yes, ma'am.
and that may help us all. Okay? Thank you. I'm sorry. I apologize for the intrusion.
thank you, Your Honor. Now, Officer Sutton,
Yeah, Levi and Sedgwick is it's a back 2-lane road. There's no street lights. It's very dark back there. No houses or anything like that.
and when you would patrol that area, was that specific area known to you for a reason?
Yes, ma'am. Very frequently we would find abandoned stolen cars on that back street.
Now, on the night of February 1st of 2022, were you patrolling in that area?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you arrive on Levi and Sedgwick around 11:15 p.m.?
Objection.
Leading.
It doesn't suggest an answer, Judge. You can answer yes or no.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Yes.
And what were the conditions that night?
It was cold. It was raining that night.
Did you see anything that drew your attention?
Yes, there was what appeared to be an abandoned vehicle on the side of the road.
Was it parked on the correct side of the road? Was it facing?
No, it was not.
Okay. Can you describe how it was parked?
It was parked on the left-hand side of the road facing the wrong direction.
I'm going to hand you a photograph and see if you recognize it.
Yes.
And what is that a photograph of?
That is a photograph of the vehicle that I found on the street.
And is that how it appeared to you that night?
Yes.
All right, I would ask that that be the state's first exhibit, Exhibit 1.
Hearing no objection, thank you. And it has not been pre-marked?
It is not, Your Honor.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so Officer Sutton, just to be clear, what are we seeing right here?
That is the vehicle that I located, Levi and Sedgwick, parked on the road facing the wrong direction.
All right. So when you saw that vehicle, what was going through your mind at that point?
I thought it was either someone had left it there, parked it there, broken down, or it might be stolen.
Right? And what did you do?
I had officers go to the registered owner's address to see if they knew the whereabouts of their vehicle, and waited for them to get back with me.
Do you recall the name of the registered owner?
Off the top of my head, no.
And once officers went to that location, did you remain on Sedgwick?
Yes,
And did you receive information from those officers?
I did.
And what information did you receive?
They told me that
Objection to hearsay.
Judge, it's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, but to explain what the officer, the next actions that he took as a result of that information.
Your response?
Your Honor, then he can reply to what he did next. We don't need to provide the information that he was given through hearsay statements.
Sustain the objection?
Officer Sutton, once you received that information, what did you do?
I got out and checked the vehicle, and that's when I noticed there was blood on the driver's side door.
And did you continue to investigate?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you find?
I found the victim's body in the ditch next to the vehicle.
Did you also look for a baby?
Yes.
Did you locate a baby?
No.
And did you take that step because of information that you received?
Yes.
Now, when you initially arrived on Levi and Sedgwick and saw the vehicle, did you have body cam on at that time?
Not at first, no.
Once you discovered the body, did you then turn your body cam on?
Yes.
I'm going to hand you a flash drive and see if you recognize it.
Yes.
Is that a clip from your body cam from that night?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have the opportunity to review that?
Yes.
And are those your initials on the flash drive?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be the next exhibit, Exhibit 2.
Hearing no objection. And I now have the initial envelope stating Brandon Isabelle, 22033799 BC 4367, and one initialed red USB marked as Exhibit 2.
Your Honor, may I have permission to publish?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So, Officer Sutton, what are we seeing here?
That is a vehicle parked on the road. It's raining, it's dark.
And at this point in time, have you called for additional officers?
Yes.
And did you also call for paramedics?
Yes.
Is that protocol in a situation like this?
Yes.
Now, it looks like there are some lights. Where are those lights coming from?
It looks like from the other vehicles that are on the scene.
Are there any street lights on Levi and Sedgwick?
No.
does this clip just continue to show the scene as you were there?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to hand you some photographs and see if you recognize them. If you would just look at that first photograph, do you
Victim's vehicle.
and ask that that be the next exhibit?
No objection.
State's Exhibit number 3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And the next photograph?
Also of the vehicle.
And can you describe which portion of the vehicle we're saying?
This is the, looks like the passenger side of the vehicle.
And I'd ask that that be the next state's exhibit, exhibit 4.
Hearing no objection, mark it as Exhibit 4, passenger view.
And Your Honor, we did review these before the witness began.
Thank you.
And the next photograph?
Also the passenger side, so a close up of the front end of the vehicle, front half of the vehicle.
I was
That
checking my
be
bank
exhibit
statement.
5.
Mom.
And the next photograph?
The driver's side of the vehicle, the broken front driver's side window.
I'd ask that that be exhibit 6. And the last photograph.
It's going to be the interior of the front driver's seat, broken glass, blood on the seat.
I'd ask that that be exhibit 7. May I have permission to publish on?
Go ahead, please.
So Officer Sutton, right here, what are we saying?
That is the victim's vehicle parked on the left-hand side of the road.
And that was, for the record, exhibit 3. Now we're looking at exhibit 4. What are we saying?
The passenger side of the vehicle.
And does it appear that there's something hanging out of the passenger side?
Yes.
And that is exhibit 4. Exhibit 5. What are we seeing here?
Also the passenger side of the vehicle, the front half of it.
Was there anything about this side of the vehicle?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And exhibit 6. What are we saying here?
That is the,
And exhibit 7. What is this?
the inside of the front driver's seat, broken glass, and blood on the seat.
Why did he break the window?
I'm going to hand you another flash drive and see if you recognize it.
Yes.
Is that another clip from body cam from the scene?
Yes.
And are you actually visible in that clip?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be Exhibit 8.
Another tiny envelope, body worn camera clip 2, with a blue USB with CS on the back.
Your Honor, may I have permission to publish?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Judy, I know.
Okay, Officer Sutton, what are we seeing?
That is the vehicle, the victim's body is laying next to the vehicle in the ditch.
And are you actually in this video?
Oh, he shot through the window?
Let me rewind a little bit.
Yes,
Is that you that we see approaching?
yes.
Okay. Now, at this point, other officers are arriving, is that correct?
Yes.
And who begins to work the scene? How is that assigned?
First we contact our supervisor, they contact felony response. When they come out, they're the ones that take over the scene from that point.
And can you explain to the jury what felony response is?
Felony response is our bureau. They would come out on any felony cases that we had they pretty much took over the scene at that point.
Are they the after-hours people?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point, did homicide make the scene?
Yes.
And was crime scene also out there?
Yes.
So is it fair to say there were several bureaus out there working the scene?
Yes.
And I hand you 2 more photographs. Do you recognize that first photograph?
Yes.
And what is that a picture of?
It's a picture of the victim's body.
And is that how it looked when you discovered the body?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be the next exhibit, Exhibit 9. The next photograph, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that a picture of?
It's a picture of the vehicle with the body in the ditch next to it.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be that would be the state's exhibit number 10. May I have permission to close, Your Honor?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, what are we seeing in this photograph?
That is the victim's body lying in the ditch next to the vehicle.
And that was Exhibit 9. Exhibit 10. What are we seeing in this photograph?
It's a wider view of the victim's body next to the vehicle.
And at that point in time, has anybody moved the body?
No.
The light that we're seeing, where is that coming from?
The vehicles that are on the scene, flashlights.
When you initially pulled up on that vehicle, were you able to see a body?
No.
Now, looking back that evening, did you hear something earlier coming from that area?
I heard gunshots that could possibly have come from that area.
And did you end up remaining at Levi Sedgwick that night while the investigation was going forward?
Yes.
Pass the witness.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Sutton, this was a very dark area, right?
Yes.
Heavily wooded,
Yes.
a 2-lane road. You indicated that people often would abandon stolen cars.
Right.
Is that area in general a somewhat high crime area?
Yes.
And there were actually several different types of shell casings out on that street,
Correct.
right in the area where this happened. And there are no cameras recording what's going on that part of the street.
No, ma'am.
And the casings that were found, they were of multiple calibers.
Right.
And when you first happened upon the scene, that was the only vehicle there,
Yes.
and Ms. Hoyle was the only person there.
Yes.
Do you recall how many different types of calibers were on the scene?
I don't.
Do you recall it being multiple
Yes.
calibers? And do you recall it being multiple casings?
Yes.
Do you recall at least one of them being a .40 caliber?
I don't recall.
And you had indicated that earlier you had possibly heard gunshots.
Yes.
That was not what drew you to the area though, right?
No.
And when you arrived on the scene, you did not know how long the car had been there.
No.
You did not know how long Ms. Hoyle had been there.
No.
You didn't actually see any of these events unfold.
No.
You don't know what was happening at the time the events unfolded.
No.
And just for clarity, you had said 23:14 on the time, or non-military time speak. That'd be 11:14 p.m., right?
Correct.
That's all I have here.
Any redirect from the state?
Just briefly, Officer Sutton, you said that this was a high crime area, is that right?
Yes.
The street signs that we see on Levi and Sedgwick, is there anything out of the ordinary about those?
There were multiple bullet holes in many of the street signs in that area.
That's all I have, thank you.
May I follow up briefly, please? Is this an area where it is uncommon to hear? That's something that you often hear even in these more secluded areas.
Yes.
Do you drive down Levi and Sedgwick often?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you hear gunfire frequently when you were driving along Levi and Sedgwick?
Usually when I was driving on Levi and Sedgwick, no.
Okay, but in that area?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard gunshots frequently in that area?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you. You may step down. Please call your next witness.
State calls Deshaun Cole.
No redirect?
Mr. Cole, come forward. Watch your step. Stand right here. Face your honor, raise your right hand.
Pardon me, sir.
No problem.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please watch your step. Have a seat and speak up for the benefit of Madam Court Reporter. Thank you.
Would you please state and spell your name for the jury?
Deshaun Cole, Liz Victor, ISHAWN. Last name is Cole, C-O-L-E.
And where are you employed?
Memphis Fire Department,
How long have you been with the Memphis Fire Department?
17 years.
And what is your position there?
Lieutenant / paramedic.
And did you make a scene at Levi and Sedgwick on February 1st, 2022 into February 2nd of 2022.
Yes, I did.
And do you recall, what were you responding to?
If I'm correct, it was a party down.
Now, when you arrived at that location, were police already on the scene?
Yes.
Can you describe the conditions?
It was raining. All you see is a police lights, and it was cold at night.
Was it a well-lit area?
No, ma'am.
And describe what you found when you arrived.
Hey, we were told to go and there was a young lady laying in the ditch. We had to assess her.
I'm going to hand you a USB drive and see if you recognize it.
Yes, I do.
And is that video from the scene?
Yes.
And are you actually in that video?
Yes, I am.
And you had a chance to review it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'd ask that this be the next state's exhibit, Exhibit 11.
Okay, we got a hair bit clip with the initials of BC, another tiny envelope, State versus Brandon Isabelle. Thank you.
May I have permission to public?
Go ahead, please.
So what is happening?
We're assessing the patient to see if the patient is alive or not.
And was there anything that you were able to do for the patient at that point?
No, ma'am.
What did you specifically do?
We assessed her, checked her, to see if she was breathing anything, and put some electrodes on her to see if she had any heart activity.
And is that a machine that you have?
Yes.
And what did you determine?
But she was not alive.
There are closed captions.
Is she being hooked up with the electrodes at this point?
We would take them off.
But I agree the sound is not great. Neither are the closed captions.
And what was that 1206? What was going on there?
The time of death, we call her, that she opened out here.
And were you the one that actually pronounced death?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what has been entered as Exhibit 9. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
Is that the patient that you went out to assess?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're seeing a little bit of blue here. Looks like on the torso and maybe on the arms.
Yes.
What are those?
Those are called cardiac electrodes.
So you as paramedics to assess her, put the electrodes on her?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Go ahead, please.
When you say the time of death was declared at 12:06 a.m., that's the time it was declared, not the actual time of death, right?
Correct, from us.
That's all I have.
Can we redirect?
No.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Please call your next witness.
State calls Mario Foster.
They might be too busy after the National Guard cleans house.
Mr. Foster, come forward. Watch your step. Stand right here, face down, and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Please watch your step and speak up for the benefit of Madam Clerk. Go ahead, please.
Could you please state and spell your name?
Maybe if that microphone wasn't so ridiculously far away from the witness, we could hear them. How about y'all rearrange your courtroom so it makes sense?
For the jury.
Mario Foster, Mario Foster,
And where are you employed?
Memphis Fire Department.
And what do you do for MOD?
I'm a driver / advanced EMT.
Now, did you respond to a call in
Oh, shut up, you heard me.
February 1st of 2022 to the early morning of February 2nd, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard me, shut it.
What was the station you were assigned to at that time?
Station 39 on Elvis President Range Road.
And did you go to a call in the area of Levi and Sedgwick?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you also with paramedic Deshaun Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the scene when you got there?
We pulled up, police were on scene, dark back road, it was raining, cold that night.
Now, were you the one that was actually assessing the patient?
No, ma'am.
Did you look inside the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
And why did you do that?
Being that we didn't have an ID on the patient, I was looking for mail, ID, purse, wallet, anything to identify the patient.
I'm going to hand you a photograph and see if you recognize it.
Yes, ma'am.
What is that a photograph of?
Back seat, diaper bag. Of course, someone's baby had to be in the back seat of the
Objection,
car.
speculation.
Give me a second, please. There's been an objection made. Would you like to respond?
Your Honor, we'll move past that.
Thank you.
Judge, we would ask that picture be Exhibit 12. Your Honor, may I have permission to publish? Go ahead, please. So you looked inside the vehicle to see if you could identify who the patient was, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And this was the vehicle that you looked into?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are we seeing right here?
Diaper bag, back seat in the back seat of the car.
And was there a name on the diaper bag?
Yes.
What was the name? And did you see a baby?
No, ma'am.
Now, later that morning, did you end up at Rains Precinct?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were you doing there?
So we received a call unrelated to this call. If I remember correctly, it was an altercation between two people, and they called us to assess those patients.
And what happened when you went into Rains Precinct?
So as we were assessing those patients, we saw a lady walk in, and who we later found out was the mom. the young lady who we had just left. And a few moments after she walked in, we just heard a lot of yelling and screaming from her and the family members that she walked in with.
And did you stand by in case any medical needs presented themselves?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the demeanor of that woman?
At the time, she just walked in, just normal. And again, like I said, after she found out, the news, she just broke down, started crying and screaming.
What is he talking about?
I'll pass the witness.
Go ahead, please.
My question, Your Honor?
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
I didn't understand any of that.
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone walked in.
Please come forward. Thank you.
I'm confused. What was that? Jill. So the roller coaster death at Epic Universe has been determined that it was not the fault of the park. However, Orange County is investigating it as a manslaughter case. It's been determined to be an accident, yet they're investigating it as a manslaughter case, which I don't understand. And the family of the guy that died has retained the same attorney that got the settlement for, remember, the kid that died in the Icon Park accident? The drop tower one, where the kid was too big for the seat and then the ride operator did something to make him fit. Which that obviously was the ride operator's fault. But in this case, this guy had a spinal cord injury. He was in a wheelchair. And there are some types of spinal cord injuries that leaves you paralyzed that you can still do stuff like that. But then there's other spinal cord injuries that aren't stable that you don't want to ride a roller coaster because who knows what might happen. Apparently this was the type of injury that he had. And so he lost consciousness on the roller coaster. And it goes high speeds, up, down, upside down, and there are no shoulder restraints. He died of blunt force trauma. Someone said they did see a piece of the seat hanging off, but what I think it actually happened was it was a piece that was removable so that the team members could get a person out of the seat quickly if something happened. I don't think it was something that happened during the ride. He did have a cut on him that was bleeding, though. So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but safety inspection was done. It said it was not the fault of the ride. I'm not sure. They're still investigating it as a manslaughter. I sent a couple of 2 or 3 videos about it to Peter Tragos and said that I would very much like to know his take on it. My feeling is that they got the same lawyer as the Icon Park one. That one, yes, I feel like in that case, they should have won that lawsuit. This one, though, I don't know. Should they have not let him get on the ride? The warnings are up there. Like, I have fibromyalgia. I have arthritis. I have a bad back, bad neck, bad knees. And I know when I ride a ride that has warnings, I run the risk of getting hurt. I don't think I'm not going to die on a roller coaster. But I run the risk of getting off that roller coaster and having more pain in my back or my neck because of it. And I know that, and I take that risk when I ride a roller coaster. I'm not going to turn around and sue them because my back is hurting worse because I rode a ride. So, does a park have the responsibility to not allow someone to ride a ride if they think it might injure them? If they put up warning signs? I mean, we have free will, right? At what point do we say no? Already, they have the seats, like the Icon Park one. The seats are made to restrain you. And if you can't fit in that restraint, you're not allowed to ride. So it becomes a point of, and they have height requirements, and they don't have, like, water slides have weight requirements. Roller coasters don't, but you have to be able to fit within the restraint. And there have been times I've gone and wanted to ride a ride and couldn't ride it because I was too big to fit in the restraint. I didn't get mad at the park. I lost weight. So I could fit inside the restraint. And there's been many rides that I couldn't ride on one trip, and then I lost weight and went back and I could ride them and everything was fine. But when does it become your personal responsibility or the park's personal responsibility? Like, and it says on the warnings, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't ride. So if you're a ride operator and a pregnant woman wants to ride and they fit, is it the ride operator's responsibility to say, I really don't think you should ride this because you're pregnant? Yet that pregnant person has seen the signs. Whose responsibility is it to say, no, I can't ride this ride? So it's getting sticky now. It's like, and someone said he had already ridden like 6 rides that day with no problem. Yes, that was not a yes or no question. Whose responsibility is it to say, no, you can't ride? And he was an adult man. He chose to ride with all the warning signs up and everything. Yes, the answer is no. You guys are so helpful. I had one. I like thrill rides, but I'm a chicken when it comes to like the big roller coasters. I like dark rides. So I have probably ridden roller coasters that are dark that I would not get on if I could see the track in the daylight. I think if a park is going to get sued, if they've done nothing wrong, yet they run the risk of getting sued because of something like this, that they should be able to say no. because it's their liability. Also, you don't want to be the park that has the reputation of guests dying on your rides either. But at the same time, you need to be responsible for yourself to say, no, I can't ride that ride. Like, I have a friend that she goes to parks on a scooter because she's had back surgery. And so there's one ride at Magic Kingdom that is a roller coaster that has, it's the Tron ride. So you're like on a cycle, like you're straddling this thing on a bicycle, like a Tron like cycle, if you've seen the movie Tron. And they have a bench seat. I think they only have 3 or 4 of them. So you have to wait longer. But if you can't get in that position, like if you have something wrong with your back and you can't get in that position, you're allowed to ride in that bench seat. And she loves it. She gets in the bench seat. She says it's a super smooth ride and it's fine. And it doesn't hurt her back. And so they try to, these parks try to accommodate for handicapped people. And she also says, well, I can't ride Space Mountain. It's too rough and it hurts me. So you have to know your limits. Now, I realize if you've never ridden a particular ride before, you don't know how you're going to feel when you get off of it. But not all people in a wheelchair, though, is that restricted, too. Because, like, when I go to the parks, I rent a scooter because I can't walk miles and miles and miles. And, well, it's not as much walking as it is standing. I cannot stand for more than, I might, like 15 minutes maybe, and I'm in extreme pain. My back is in extreme pain. So I get the scooter so I can sit while I'm waiting in a long line, because I can't stand for an hour while I'm waiting in line. Just the standing and moving and like, an inch or two every few minutes, that kills me. So I get a scooter. So that way I'm sitting down while I'm in line for a ride. But I'm perfectly capable of they ask me though. They say, can you get up and walk and transfer to the ride? And I say yes. But in his case, he couldn't. Well, I'm assuming he couldn't. I don't know. I don't even know if he could walk or not. Oh, Jill, there are rides at Disney that are so slow and relaxing and are not crazy. You're going to ride rides when you come down here. You're going to ride the relaxing rides. The slow, just riding through and looking at stuff rides. I won't make you ride Space Mountain, but you're going to ride rides. You've never been on a roller coaster? I love them. I love them, I love them, I love them. But I've never been... Well, see, that's the thing. That's the gray area. That's the sticky area. Like, the signs are there. I don't feel like they should be sued. Because the signs are there. And you have to be responsible. Like, if you know, like, okay, so take Wiggles here. She gets motion sickness. She knows she's going to get motion sickness if she rides a crazy ride, so she's not going to ride. Like, you have to know your limitations. And if you have limitations and you still get on a ride and something happens after all the warning signs and everything, that's not the park's fault. So first, it really scared me. Because someone said, well, a piece of the ride fell off and hit him. And that's what I was thinking. But the same person said, well, I don't know if it was like something that came off to help the team members get him off of the ride faster or something. And it absolutely could have been. And the same guy also said, because he did this thing on his channel. I forgot where I saw it. Oh, I think some Disney World blogger person did a YouTube channel. Did something on his YouTube channel about it. And so he showed the videos that this guy made. It was probably TikTok or something. And he said that it was so chaotic and such a mess, and their phones, because this guy was on the coaster at the time. And he said that their phones were locked in lockers and they couldn't get their stuff out of the lockers and they had to walk someplace else and wait. And then they couldn't call anybody because they didn't have their phones. And he said it was just chaos and it was horrible and it was very poorly done. And the guy doing the video, he pointed out they get trained for everything that could happen, but when something like that happens, it's a brand new thing. It's gonna be chaos because it doesn't happen every day. It's not like it's something they're used to dealing with all the time. Yeah, me too, Judy. Yeah, I need a lot more info too. But I think he should have known better. That's a very, very intense roller coaster. And it doesn't have shoulder restraints. And I feel like I don't like upside down roller coasters that don't have shoulder restraints. I've never ridden one like that, but I don't want to. I don't like coming out of my seat. I want to be like jammed in my seat. I don't want to come out. And a lot of people like that feeling. I don't. But if you are not able to control a certain part of your body, whatever part of the body it is, you don't need to be on a roller coaster where your body is gonna be moving around erratically. Or be on any ride where your body's moving around erratically. Because if you can't control your own body and the thing is shaking it all over the place, then you're at risk for injury. So, yeah, I need more information too. I feel like the Icon Park thing, I think they deserved to get the settlement that they got. Because that ride operator fixed the ride where it would lock on a bigger person. And that should not have been done. But I think and that was a big kid, and I guess he had not been able to ride rides all day, and the ride operator felt bad for him and fixed it to where he could ride, and then he died. So I think that they should have gotten that settlement. But in this case, I don't know. And I would hate to see parks everywhere start getting sued for every little somebody getting hurt on a ride. Why do you get to make fun of Parkinson's patients? Why? I'm glad. Did he resign because it's a BS case? I hope so. So that's why you get to make fun of it? Because your dad had it? I took care of Parkinson's patients, so that is... I don't ever want anyone I love to have Parkinson's. That's a horrible disease. Horrible, 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 horrible disease. See, I don't, yeah, like more information, because I don't know. He had a spinal cord injury. He was in a wheelchair. I don't know if that means he was paralyzed from the waist down, or could he walk? You know, because like there's different types of spinal cord injuries.
Are we ready with the jurors? Did the state have time to speak with your victim witness coordinator?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, she is.
And she addressed those two issues?
Yes.
Thank you.
Aw, Jill, I'm sorry.
Just a second. Just a second. The court's going to be in a very brief recess.
What stands to reset?
Again? What have you been doing? Did you guys watch the interview with Alan Jackson and Billy Bush? Peter did it on his channel. Did I watch it live? It was I don't remember if I watched it live or if it was a premiere or what. I don't remember. But it was a really good interview. Hey, Marty. It was really good. It was talking about a lot of things, but it was a lot about the civil case and him coming on board with the civil case and everything.
You're in the courtroom? So fun fact, you can enter from there. Yeah.
Oh, I
You
didn't
can
see
enter from that
that.
side, so you don't have to call over your fellow jurors. We're not here to make it any more complicated than it has to be, okay? So keep that in mind, all of you. You can go in either side. State of Tennessee, please call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. The state calls Sergeant Jeremy Klein.
Sergeant Klein, come forward. Watch your step. Stand right here, face your honor, raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Have a seat, watch your step. Sergeant Klein, speak up for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. If you could state your name and spell it for the jury and court reporter.
Sergeant Jeremy Klein, Jeramy, last name Cline.
All right, I see you're carrying a gun. Where do you work?
I work for Memphis Police Department in the Homicide Bureau.
Were you assigned to homicide back on February 2nd of 2022?
I was.
And do you recall homicide involving Danielle Hoyle and Kennedy?
That's correct.
Did you get assigned some tasks on that particular case?
Yeah, my original task was to meet with April Hoyle at their house and kind of get as much information I can about Danielle's movements. However, when I arrived there, she wasn't there. She had changed locations over to Rain Station Precinct, and that's where I ended up meeting with April Hoyle.
And did you have to deliver the news to her or deliver some bad news to her?
I did. I basically told her that we found her daughter's vehicle and that we had found a female that had been killed outside the vehicle. At that moment, we didn't know if it was Danielle or not, just because the identity hadn't been known to us. But I did inform Miss April that we were investigating a homicide.
Did you also look into an Apple Watch?
I did. At some point in time, we did return back over to April's house where Danielle's Apple Watch was at. April was able to give me the Apple Watch and give me the passcode to the Apple Watch. So we brought it back to the precinct and started going through some of the past messages that was inside the watch.
And you were looking for things relevant to potential homicide or disappearance of a child?
That's correct.
Were you able to find some things that were relevant or a text that was relevant?
I did. I found a text that came in on February the 1st from a contact that was listed by Brandon. In that text, they were talking about the child, Kennedy, is what it seemed like. And Brandon's basically saying that he needed to be a father to his own child and was asking for the Kennedy to be aborted. And this was like a screenshot of a message that she had.
I'm going to pass forward some photographs for the record. This defense has viewed those, and those are kind of in order. You recognize those photographs?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
This is a photograph of the Apple Watch that I looked through.
And there's 3 of them, because we had to take 3 to get the whole message. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, if we could have this marked as the next exhibit, as a collective.
Collective exhibit number 13. And this is 3 photos.
Yeah, if you could
Go ahead, please.
publish those. I'll put the first one up, Sergeant Klein. Make that possible zoom in on that a little bit. Sergeant Klein, if you could read this word.
It says, I can't be a father to the kid right now, Danielle, and I don't want to put you through that. I have to be a father to my first child. I haven't been doing that. I don't want you to go through what you're going through with Raya Dad not being around twice. You deserve better than what I've been doing to you. If you love me like you say you do, then let's end this mistake, Danielle. Let's talk to these doctors tomorrow, and let's both hear them and have them understand where we're coming from. I gotta sit.
And
Yeah.
we have the next one here. We can zoom in on that. I think you stopped it. I gotta sit.
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. Thank you. I gotta sit back and find myself with no distractions, like for real. I gotta find me.
Third, if you can just go to the third one, I think it has. There we go.
Yeah. And it says, Brandon, bye. Just stop texting me and go about your business. I don't need you and talking to them. They still not going to do it. I'm going on 5 months now.
All right. And Sergeant Klein, was that the only things that you could find that were relevant within the Apple Watch?
Yes, sir.
Did you consider or think about trying to, download or dump the entirety of the watch?
At the time, Memphis Police Department did not possess the technology to be able to extract the messages from the watch the way we had, and I don't think we were in possession of Danielle's phone.
All right. And is that everything that you did with respect to this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions, Judge?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. What was the date on that text of the watch?
So it was a snapshot when it was retransmitted. I'm not sure to who or from, but when it was retransmitted, the date of the transmission was February 1st, 2022.
That wasn't the date that it originated, was it?
That I won't know when it actually originated.
I'm confused. The 2/1/22, was that on the watch?
That was the day that the transmission of that snapshot was sent. So basically, the way it works is this was a screenshot of a text message between Brandon and who I'm assuming would be Danielle. From that text message, it was retransmitted to whom, I don't know, but it's retransmitted on the 1st, showing that mark, that conversation.
So we wouldn't know when that first text message came in. You don't have any evidence of when that first text message.
Reading the text message, I would imagine about 5 months along. Danielle was pregnant about 5 months along.
That would be your correct milestone, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Okay. And also, you were involved with Artisha as well, Artisha Stewart?
I don't recall. I might have been, but I don't recall.
Did you help with the interrogation of Artisha Stewart?
At this time, if I did, I took notes. I don't have those notes in front of me, and I do not recall.
The case coordinator here, that wasn't you, was it?
That was not me.
That was Jacoba Boyd?
That is correct.
And would you tell the jury, please, what a case coordinator is? What does he do?
Basically, case coordinator, or what we also refer to as lead investigator, he is the person who is in charge to make sure certain tasks are done within the case. He will assign people to do things for the case, or he himself has to ensure that they get done, such as search warrants, supplements, basically keeping the notes of the case and to make sure that it is moving forward and that we're progressing to maybe charging the suspect in the crime.
So he's kind of up here, and the people he's giving things to do are down below him, and he's giving them tasks.
Well, yes, sir. In a sense, yes, sir.
And those people that he gives tasks oftentimes write reports and send them to him.
That's correct.
And he makes decisions based on that.
Correct.
Okay. No other questions, thank you, sir.
Any redirect from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. That's all that you have for today?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our business for today. You have plans, and I have to get you out of here. Again, you are not to discuss anything you think you may know. I can assure you you don't. You are not to do any independent research. You may talk freely about anything else except what has happened here today with anyone at any time until I give you instructions to do so. Are we all clear? I'll see you in the morning. Get some rest. Don't overdo it tonight with the food and the snacks. Leave your notebooks here. We'll take care of it.
Excuse me, the notebook's in the chair, watch your step and you step down.
Have a great night. Get some rest. Thank you. And y'all still didn't go out on the other side.
The Monday comes.
It's fine.
He's got my whole shit.
It's fine.
Upset his
Funnel
routine.
right here.
I'm giving you options. Good night.
He's making sure everybody's okay.
Is our team leader? All right, so it is now 3:31. We will adjourn here shortly. What time do you want to pick up in the morning? What time do you have your fifth witness ready to come in? Mr. Christensen, Mr. Steele, Ms.
Because I think ideally for us, I know that I was talking with Ms. Fuchs.
You all may be seated while we
Maybe,
discuss this.
You know, I think we can get a lot of proof on tomorrow. Maybe 8 witnesses or so, maybe possibly up to Sergeant Wimbush. I think if we could start at 10 o'clock, that would be ideal for us.
That's late.
Whatever the court wants to find, we'll start with
I'm
that.
thinking we start at 9. We have a lot to go. We have 4 witnesses down, at least
9 o'clock, fine, too.
27. No one else has any other courtroom business anywhere, do they? We could be here at 9. Can we have the jurors here at 9? Wait. What's on the docket? 0 on the docket. We start at 9. Adjourn, please.
All rise. Court is now adjourned to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for trial.
Okay, guys. That means, so 9 means 10 o'clock for us. Or for me. But we have Escalera's penalty phase starts tomorrow. So at 8, we're going to go back to Betty Broderick's trial. Then we're going to do Escalera's penalty phase. I don't know how long that's going to last. And we're going to then have to catch up on this one. And I don't know how we're going to do that. But we will, because we always do. Yeah, I don't think he was pleased with that start time either. I wanted them to start later, too. Because thinking maybe we could catch up some yesterday. Catch up some tomorrow. I'm a Time Lord, but I'm not that much of a Time Lord. Jeez, Debbie. But I wonder... what time... The Plotting Parents murder trial. That's another one starting tomorrow? No. Today at 4:30. Well, it doesn't, I don't see anything. Oh, wait. Nope. I don't see a placeholder, like a thumbnail or anything, about the pregnant mistress murder trial. I don't know. Well, we will do Betty at 8, and then we'll figure the rest out. So, I will see you guys in the morning. Have a great evening, and remember... be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you, and so do I. Bye, guys. I love y'all. Thank you for being patient with me while I was not feeling well this weekend and beginning of the week. I will see you guys this tomorrow. Tomorrow's hump day already, right? Man, half my week's gone. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. See you in the morning at 8.